Today, I have a ton of stuff to do. I have a Christmas tree to decorate. I have laundry. I have flowers in a vase that need to be refreshed before it becomes a science project. I have my room and my clothes that I need to organize and purge. I have a lot of things to do. We're not even going to discuss my 2 guest rooms that are like storage rooms right now and the office behind this bookcase that I need to set up and actually start using. Got a lot of stuff to do, and none of it sounds particularly soft, and definitely not cozy. And I will do these things. I plan on doing these things, but not before I read 100 pages of my book. I've decided that that very soft thing, that very desirable thing, my hobby, something I love, I decided that that's pretty much what I'm going to do first. By the way, I'm also going to let you in on a little secret. I have to make my videos pretty much when my husband is at work, and he goes to work a couple of days a week. And it never fails. If I start making a video, he's going to come home. Not that I don't want him to come home, because that's my heart. I love him. We're very much pro marriage over here. We're very much pro being life partners and taking that very seriously. So if that's not your vibe, you won't like it over here. But I try to get work done when he's not here, because the house is much quieter when he's not here. He's a lovely person, but he's a presence. And he just pulled up. So we're gonna cut this intro a little bit short, and I'll talk to you about a little life on the other side. But before I go, let me know, what are some soft and cozy things you guys are getting into? I hope you guys are leaning into rest and coziness and just an overall soft existence during this holiday period. We need the recharge. While I do want to read the 100 pages of my book, I also do really need to do laundry. And it's not just the laundry that you see in here. Some of this is done, some of it isn't. But my clothes, I really do need to do my laundry, because this week I'm going to slowly and softly cull my wardrobe and organize my clothes. And in order to do that, they need to be clean. So since I don't have to physically wash my clothes, I can multitask today. I'll let the clothes wash, and I will try to read my book. Today is really cold and rainy. It's December 2nd, and it's a lot colder than it normally is here during this time of year, which I'm totally loving. So it's actually pretty perfect. It's the perfect day to just get cozy, light a candle, pick up a book, and read. I'm not even going to worry about that stuff that's back there on the counter. I'm on page 74, and I want to get to page 100 before I talk about the book some more, or talk about the book. I haven't really discussed it, but I have to remember where I left off. But before I could get situated, my daughter wanted to teach me something. Do you know about Miranda rights? Finish reading.
The arrest and confession. In March 1963, Ernesto Miranda was arrested based on circumstantial evidence for a kidnapping and rape case. After 2 hours of interrogation, he confessed to the crimes, and his written confession was used to convict him. The appeal. Miranda's lawyers appealed his conviction, arguing that his confession was coerced and that he was not informed of his constitutional rights, specifically his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination and his Sixth Amendment right to an attorney. Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court agreed with Miranda in a 1966 decision overturning his conviction. The court ruled that prosecutors could not use a suspect's confession in court unless the suspect was informed of their rights before questioning. This ruling established the Miranda warning, a set of statements about constitutional rights that police must read to an arrested person before they can be interrogated. Their rights are based on the Fifth and Sixth Amendments of the U.S. Constitution. The irony, after his original conviction was overturned, Miranda was retried, and his confession was not used. He was convicted again based on other evidence and sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison. He was paroled in 1972. Ironically, he was murdered in 1976, and the suspect in his case was read their Miranda warnings.
Of course, someone being murdered is not necessarily funny, but the irony, you gotta admit, is pretty hilarious. So while I didn't make it to page 100 today, I did read a few pages and I really got into the character Malcolm. If you don't know what A Little Life is about, it's about 4 young men who are very close, they have a close bond, and they basically come of age. And apparently it gets pretty traumatic. One of the characters who we haven't been formally introduced yet goes through some pretty bizarre stuff, and I think that's what's coming. Right now, I have an affinity for Malcolm because he seems to know that he doesn't know a lot. And he's trying to figure it all out. But he's also someone who has decided not to make race his whole personality, which is a privilege or a burden, depending on who you ask. I relate to him so much because I too had the privilege of growing up not making race my whole reality. For me, it was the time in which I grew up. For him, it was the circumstances. But nonetheless, I find it very interesting because I don't encounter that very often, especially in books. I don't think it makes a person better or worse. It just makes their upbringing different. I actually do believe that the things that I do have merit and that ultimately I have to rely on me and God, of course, but me. And I feel as though Malcolm feels the same way. So I definitely have connected with this particular character. He's also an architect, which to me is just another type of artist. So we connect on that level too. Typically, when I read books, it's not so much about me connecting with the characters, but it's kind of nice when I do. I did have to put the book down after only a few pages because other things demanded my attention, which is what typically happens. However, I will be picking it up a little bit later, so I guess I can talk to you a little bit more about it tomorrow. I'll love you and leave you here, and I will see you in the next one. And if you like these videos, give me a follow. It's free. Okay, bye.